It's Top 5 Tuesday, and in our pre-production meeting this morning, heard you had a top 5 list. I was curious to know this morning, but I said, you know what, I'm going to wait and find out live with the audience. So, Dubsy, let's start with number 5.
Hey, look, the top 5 was locked in as of 8 a.m. this morning. Just saw our very own Magic during the break, and I've had to call a bit of an audible. But look, let's start with that number 5, Classic Division. Let's turn it back to last year. Sierra Leone, son of Gunrunner, absolutely honest type. Always shows up, Caleb, giving us a big performance. We saw it there in the Grade 1, Stephen Foster. It wasn't enough to get the score. If we return down to Del Mar without having a win for 2025, that doesn't faze me. I think it's going to be happy returns down at the Seaside Oval. Sierra Leone is one of the best in the sport, and I love the fact once we get to deep stretch, always seems to be right there in the mix. So give me Chad Brown, Sierra Leone, taking out that 5 spot. Teased it there off the top of the segment. Magic, Curtis, we know he's on the bandwagon for who? Second best 3-year-old in the division, sitting as one of my classic contenders in journalism. What we have seen this year, fantastic. The flowers where flowers are due. A winner of the Grade 1 Haskell, showed up in all 3 classic races. You like to see that. And for journalism, being that West Coast warrior, could be the best 3-year-old, but it's going to have to come with a couple of big runs to close out 2025 in trying to surpass that top of the 3-year-old division. And we'll get to that runner in just a minute. All right, Rapoli Stable, Todd Pletcher, I think they've got 2 absolute threats for this year's running. Let's start Fierceness, taking out that 3 spot. Absolute monster. Second in the Met Mile. But if you go back and look early in that race, I thought we were taken out of the equation, used a lot in the tank to try and get back into it, and just comes up short. Was a runner-up in last year's running of the Classic, a winner in the Travers. Fierceness, 4-year-old, bigger, better, faster version, but not going to be the number 1 choice out of the yard.
You mentioned Rapoli, and looks like he's going to have another horse on your list.
I think he will, and we saw it at the top of the Segi. They're leading us in. Mindframe looking to make that money. Star 4-year-old, a winner of this year's running in the Grade 1. Stephen Foster, a runner-up in the Haskell. And, you know, it's a similar form line, similar angle there behind Fierceness. I just think this is a horse that's shown a lot of development. You look at the stature, you look at the poise, professional on race day. So for Todd Pletcher, I think he's got 2 of the best in the business right now. And Mindframe, I'm just going to give that edge to off that big performance in the Stephen Foster over Fierceness. That was a tough one. Took a lot of time in trying to decipher. Mindframe takes out that 2 spot.
Top 5 Tuesday, who is numero uno?
Best 3-year-old in the country. Best in the sport right now. It's Sovereignty looking to soar. We saw it in the Jim Dandy once again. We saw it in this year's running of the Kentucky Derby. We've seen it in the Belmont. And in terms of knowing where that finish line is, Sovereignty, just an absolute brute of a racehorse. For Belmont in the yard, it's been a tremendous training job in terms of the placement, what we've seen on race day. Junior Alvarado, he's got to love what he's had underneath him. And for Sovereignty, this looks to be a racehorse, Caleb, that's looking left, looking right, and wants that smoke. Wants that smoke, not just amongst the best 3-year-olds, but what we've seen in 2025 in the Classic Division. I've seen enough. Sovereignty is the best in the sport right now.
And believe it or not, we are just over 3 months away from the Breeders' Cup Classic. We've had 3 top 5 lists here. Gabby Gaudette, myself, and Dubs, and all 3 of us have Sovereignty number 1. So are you buying the 3-year-old at this point as the winner of the Classic, or do you like someone else? You can tell us there on the social media verse. But our top 5 is in for Dubs here on this Tuesday.